Hello, hi. My name is Deepak Bansal, and today we are going to discuss NVIDIA S94700. Now, we will take this switch as the starting point of the NVIDIA platforms. This switch belongs to SN4000 family series of switches on the Spectrum-3 AC. Now, today we will talk a lot about Spectrum for 800 gig. So, this is the switch which supports 400 gig ports and 1 gig 128 ports and 38 to 4 gig ports. So Spectrum 4 800 gig Ethernet Spectrum X comes with BlueField DPUs, mainly for AI fabrics. But before that, the SN4700 was an important 400 gig platform in the NVIDIA Ethernet journey. Uh, the SN400 series of switch is the first RU data center switch with 32 QSFP ports. Each port can support 400 gig. Now, so from a pure port capacity point of view, this was a serious 400 gig leaf for spine platform. But the interesting part is just not 32 ports of 400 gig. The real story is how NVIDIA was building a full data center networking stack around Ethernet. After NVIDIA acquired Mellanox, so if you're not sure about that company, so Mellanox was the company which acquired by NVIDIA, which has end-to-end Ethernet in InfiniBand in interconnect. So NVIDIA acquired that company in 2020. Okay, that was the first turning point for NVIDIA. Now uh, it was no longer only about GPU. The network become part of the compute system. That is where the switch like SN4700 fit. Okay, the SN57 was not just a traditional Ethernet switch. It followed NVIDIA Open Ethernet model, where the hardware can run any operating system like Cumulus Linux or Sonic or anyone. That matter because many cloud and large data center operation wants Linux style operation, automation, open tooling, and more control over the network layer. So Cisco was the primary vendor in that space, but as you know, many developers wanted to do work like a Linux kind of a platform, and it is very easy in automation. So Cumulus Linux was the first platform which which uh, accepted by NVIDIA and all the developers. So, okay. So the main difference compared to many traditional switches is instead of treating the switch as a black box, NVIDIA model push Ethernet switching closer to the server world, right? Like open operating system, automation friendly design, telemetry, and integration with broader data center stack. Now, there is one more thing which I want to discuss with you about is DPUs. Now, if you go to the specification um, and go to the actually it is in the installation and yeah, so actually it's not here. So NVIDIA DPU. Okay, so DPUs like NVIDIA BlueField sit closer to the server. It's a job to offload and accelerate infrastructure services such as networking, security, storage, encryption, and virtualization function. Right? So BlueField networking platform. If you see this NIC card, this transform the data center for AI with NVIDIA BlueField. So think of this way: the switch provides high-speed fabric. The NIC or super NIC connects to the server to that fabric. The DPU can offload infrastructure task from the CPU, and the GPU consume the data for AI or accelerated workload. Now, this is why NVIDIA networking story is different from a normal switch vendor story. A traditional switch vendor may focus mainly on port, speed, routing, VXLAN, and operation. However, NVIDIA angle is more end-to-end GPUs, NIC, DPU, switch, software, telemetry, and validated AI infrastructure. So SN4700 switch in the first uh, is a 400 gig in a data center fabric. It can support many advanced features like EVPN and scale out, scale in Ethernet environments. But it's not high end AI Ethernet switcher anymore. Today, if you're designing a new large AI fabric, you would normally look at newer NVIDIA Spectrum-4 or Spectrum-X platform, right? Those newer platforms are more directly focused on modern AI traffic patterns like ROC optimization, congestion control. Now, why I'm discussing this one is because if you want to study how this is connected, that's where it stands, right? So, it shows the point where NVIDIA Ethernet was moving from high speed. This is the first of the switch where NVIDIA was moving from high speed switching into the broader infrastructure strategy. Thus, for SN47 is not just 32 ports, 400 gig switch. It is a good example of how NVIDIA started building the networking foundation for what later become a full AI data center fabric story with Ethernet switches, Cumulus Linux, ConnectX, BlueField DPUs, telemetry, and end-to-end infrastructure thinking. So, I mean, yep, this switch is just not. I know this switch is not even a newly switch from the NVIDIA, but yes, this is one of the switch which shifted the NVIDIA from GPU company to the networking game. Okay, thank you all for watching again.